I met my husband Dave 5 years ago. We've been married for 3 years with a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm currently 4 months pregnant. I met Dave through one of my coworkers, Mark. I started seeing him frequently at the bar we'd go get drinks at after work. He started chit-chatting with me, and it was obvious he was interested, but I tried to decline his advances as gently as I could. He was persistent, and one night after one too many drinks, I agreed to go on a date with him. I didn't really want to be there and even thought of canceling, but I was having really bad luck dating at that point, so I decided to go. The date started off really slow, but then we realized we had a lot in common. I was still hesitant, but decided to give Dave a chance. And although he definitely liked me a lot more than I liked him in the beginning, our relationship slowly began to grow, and I eventually fell in love with him. Except for the rare couples fights, things between my husband and I have generally been really good. We get along well, and up until last night, I would have said my life is ideal. Since the pandemic, my husband has been working from home. It was a little bit of an adjustment, but it hasn't been too bad. The change in environment has been the biggest issue. To stay connected, my husband meets virtually once a week with his friends and his brother to play games. Last night, he had about 2 to 3 beers while playing with his brother Tom. I put my daughter to bed to see I had a message from Tom's girlfriend that said they got engaged. Tom had written, "Big thanks to Dave, without whose advice I would never have gotten this far." I immediately ran downstairs to talk to my husband about it. We were cuddling when I mentioned to him about how good of an example he was to his brother, and this is where it all began. Basically, Dave told me about how he helped Tom make his girlfriend fall in love with him just like he did with me. Dave was clearly drunk, but according to him, he first found me on a dating site about half a year before we ever met. He claims he sent me a message, but I just ignored him. And I tried telling him girls receive hundreds of messages and it's hard for us to go through every single one. He then spent hours searching for me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Once he found me, he created numerous social media profiles, some of which I accepted, so then he was able to stalk my life. He purposely found Mark on LinkedIn and befriended him so that he could meet us during happy hour. And that's how we met. That time in my life where I had bad luck dating was all actually Dave under different profiles. I kept chatting with guys who I thought I would have really gotten along with, in some cases chatted with them for weeks, and then when it was time to meet, I kept getting blown off. It was a huge hit to my self-esteem. One night, after waiting for over an hour for my date to show up, I finally went back to my car and just cried. I didn't understand why this was happening to me. One particularly cruel episode was when I was supposed to go on a date with one of Dave's fake profiles, and I received a text message saying he's not coming because I didn't look as good as my pictures and I was accused of catfishing him. The next week was when I finally agreed to go on a date with Dave. Dave even went as far as hiring aspiring models to go on dates with me to break my spirits. I hit it off with one guy who was extremely handsome and went on an amazing date just for him to look me in the eyes and say, "Sorry, I'm not into sluts." He got up and he walked away. Dave told me he paid him $1,000 to crush my spirits. I don't know what to do, or even if there's anything to do. I am horrified and absolutely shocked at what I learned. But some part of me has to admit that I'm also flattered. Would a man spend so much time and effort just to be with me? Although creepy, it does seem a bit romantic. Maybe? No, it's not romantic. This is grade A stalker level obsessive movie horror shit where he's gonna kill you in your sleep. No. Run away.
So in the past 20 minutes, my whole life was just flipped upside down. So I'm out with my friends, and we're at Walmart, and all of a sudden my dad calls me. And he is screaming at the top of his lungs for me to get home, and then just hangs up. I couldn't even get a word in. I was so confused. So I call him back because I'm really confused, and all I hear is my dad and my sister screaming at each other, and then the phone hangs up again. So my friend drives me home really quick, and I walk in through the garage because my front door broke, and I'll explain why later. So I go in through the garage and I'm going through the basement of the house so I can hear everything that's going on upstairs. And my dad is screaming at the top of his lungs at my sister. Like, the screaming was like a married couple finding out that the other person cheated. It was insane. I get to the top of the stairs and I'm like, what's going on? And my dad's up in my sister's face just screaming at her. My sister's just crying and I'm like, and my dad turns around and he looks at me and he's like, "Kayla, don't act all innocent. You didn't do your laundry." And I'm like, "Yes, I did. The laundry basket is in my room." And then he just stops talking because he knew he had nothing to yell at me about and he was just coming at me backwards for no reason. Then he goes back to screaming at my sister and then he goes, "You're out of the house. Your mom's on her way to pick you up." And I was like, "Oh, my sister just got kicked out." So I go into my sister's room and I start talking to her and she's like, "Yeah, I just got kicked out because I didn't do my laundry and because she didn't clean her room and other stuff like that. Basically just because she didn't clean." So I'm like, boy, what the hell? So like 10 minutes later, my sister's in my room and we're just talking about everything that happened. And my dad comes in and he's like, "Ashley, your phone's getting shut off." Ashley's my sister, by the way. So she just starts crying even more because now she won't have a phone. And then like 30 minutes later, my mom shows up to pick her up. So I go out into the garage and my mom and my dad are just like going at it a little bit. My dad's like yelling and my mom's like, "Chill out." And it was just like crazy. So then my dad's like, why is the doorknob broke? Because this morning I was leaving my house to get the mail and the doorknob literally just fell off in my hands. And I tell him how it just fell off in my hands and he's like, I don't believe you because the doorknob was all bent and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, like I literally was just opening the door. So then he goes quiet and he looks at me and he goes, if you're not the one that bent it, then somebody else was. Meaning that somebody was trying to break in last night. And then all the puzzle pieces start going together. Because last night around midnight I was writing an essay and my dog's laying in my bed and he gets up and he runs downstairs and he just starts barking at the front door. I don't think anything of it because sometimes he barks at his reflection, but I hear like subtle knocks on the door. But I'm just assuming it's like my sister or the wind or something. And then this morning when I go to leave the house, the doorknob falls off. And I didn't even notice the doorknob was like bent and like the internals of the doorknob were like all mushed together. It looked like somebody took a hammer or a wrench and was trying to get the doorknob off. So now, even though I'm not kicked out, I have to go to my mom's tonight for my safety because now there's somebody trying to break into the house. And my dad's gonna get camera footage from the neighbors because they have a Ring camera. So yeah, that's like really good! So in the past 20 minutes, my sister got kicked out and I found out that somebody's trying to break into my house. How's your Monday going?
Am I a jerk for not wanting to go to my older brother's wedding? My brother left to go to join the army a little over a year ago. He started to ghost my family and we never talked to him. Found out when we were FaceTiming for my birthday that he was engaged. He has a really busy schedule and stuff, but he was off the day after my birthday and waited a week later to call. When we found out that he was engaged, we didn't believe it. I was so happy at the time, thinking, oh my god, my brother's actually going to get married. But then I found out that she was 23 and he was 22. Then he kept ghosting us even more. So I told my mom if he kept ghosting us that I wasn't going to the wedding, as a joke. Then one day he made me really mad. Because when he actually decided to call us, the whole time he just made fun of me. And earlier that day, some guy I liked had already given me some comments about my body. So having my brother say those things to me just made me really mad. We always make fun of each other, but it was never as bad as it is now. Until he met her. And it just keeps on getting worse. I really just feel like I do not want to talk to him anymore. What should I do? Should I go to the wedding or not? Am I the asshole for thinking that my boyfriend cheated on me? My boyfriend and I have had a good relationship for a while. He introduced me to his friends and held my hand around school. Everything was going fine until one day I come into school and see a girl I've never seen before jump into his arms and him spinning her around. I got really upset and didn't talk to him for the whole day. He texted me and asked what was up. I said nothing and went about my day. The next day I go to school and see the same girl laying on his shoulder and then holding hands. I get pissed and tell my friends. When he texted me to ask why I was ignoring him, my friend texted him and cursed him out for cheating on me. He said that she was just his best friend and that her dad died. I didn't even feel bad. I just felt angry because she knew he had a girlfriend. I cut him off. He drunk called me multiple times and apologized. And when I wouldn't forgive him, he just called me a dumb bitch. Texted me again saying that he's sorry and he's changed. I told him what he did was unforgivable and that I could never be with him again because of how he hurt me. He keeps texting me wanting to get back together with me. He thinks he didn't cheat.
Hey guys, let me tell you about senior prom. So senior prom, I was in a relationship and I ended up getting in this relationship before like he even knew that I wanted a promposal. So before I even said yes to going to prom with him. So he ended up giving me a promposal. We lit. I'm super happy. So I ended up making sure all my homegirls get a promposal. I'm happy. We all happy. So fast forward the day of prom. The day of prom, I'm sick. Like when I say sick, I mean like nose running, crusty eyes, like the whole 9 yards. And I'm just over it at that point, but I still go to the hairdresser to get ready. Y'all, I get ready and that's me. That's my mom hyping me up. So we end up getting to prom. He comes pick me up. His family comes. Y'all, the way his stepmom looked at me, I think she knew that I was like about to break up with him soon because she had gave me this look and I was looking back at her like, about my family. So we ended up getting to prom. It was cool for real. I told y'all I was the most hated. I didn't tell I was the most hated in high school though. And the time came where it was time for after prom. Now we all know after prom, I didn't know. I dressed up. I did not know we could wear pajamas, y'all. It was bull riding. It was a hypnotist. This one boy is getting hypnotized, talking about all this crazy stuff. And we bull riding in these little skimpy club dresses. So that's all going on. But mind you, if you don't go to after prom, like you get in trouble or whatever. So I'm just over there. So me and him, when we go to get dressed, we're like trying to hurry up. Mind you, when we're done at the real prom, we have a million different pictures and he ended up driving me home. As we're driving home because I'm feeling sick, so I ended up having to leave early. We stop inside the highway. He starts taking pictures, and as he's taking pictures of me, I'm just like, this is kind of fun being with like a photographer. Like, I'm feeling life at this point. So he ended up taking me home, and after that I stayed with him for like another week, and then we ended up breaking up because I was going to go off to college, and the whole dating somebody at a different college just wasn't really sitting well with me. So, senior prom.
The worst months to be born in. If you were born in October, then you have major anger issues. And you're a douche to pretty much anyone that you don't care about. So people get a lot of bad vibes from you. But on the bright side, if you're an older person that was born in October, then you're pretty good in bed. Your personality just needs some work. Comment what month you want me to do next.